Bitch.
Cheers, girl.
Wine night. So what is your worst date you've ever had?
This was in my Tinder days.
Tinder days.
My Tinder days, yeah. So basically, like, I met this guy online, and like, he's supposed to be like this 6-foot athlete, like just my type. And I was like, okay, like, so we agreed to meet up. And then, so first of all, we agreed to meet at I think 7, and around 7, he messaged me like, oh, I'm running late.
No.
So I'm like, okay. I was like fully dressed, like fully ready. I'm like, okay. 7:30 passed. I'm like, where are you? He's like, oh my god, like I'm still running late, like whatever, 8 o'clock. So I'm like, fine, like an hour, like whatever. Once it hits 8 o'clock, the man's still not here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I text him, I'm like, we can reschedule. Like, I have no problem rescheduling. He's like, no, I'm already like 40, like I'm 30 minutes away, like I'm already close. So like, you already left the house and stuff. So then I was like, okay, fine. Man comes to my house at 9. 2 hours after he said he would come. It's 9 o'clock, so I'm like, okay, I come out and like, mind you, I'm looking cute, I smell good, everything. Like, I'm looking nice.
Okay. I mean, you had 2 hours. So.
Yeah, I had 2 hours. I had 2 extra hours, so I was looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And I go into the car, and like, the first thing I notice is just like, the car is just like dirty. Like, it's just messy.
Oh.
And yeah, and then he just, like, the whole shirt was wrinkled, like, his clothes were clinging to him, like, he just came from, like, a long day of work or something, and I was like, I thought you were gonna be 2 hours late to, like, get a haircut or, like, something, like, I thought you were, like, taking the extra time to look good for me, but no, you came looking like a damn mess. Anyway, it's okay, like, where do you want to go? I was already like,
Bro, like, why are
you have 2 extra hours,
that?
you can even decide on a place to go. Like, he's not from, like, the city, like, he was from, like, out the city, but still, like.
But, like, what did you guys have discussed before? Like, dinner, movie?
I thought he was taking me out.
Like, to dinner?
Yes. He said, we'll go get food.
Oh.
He said, we'll go get
so
food.
he's saying, where do you want to go in terms of food?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like, there's this taco place I really like. So we drove there, and then I didn't realize it closed, like, because, or if we had met at the original time, it would have been open.
Yeah.
So then we got there, and it was closed, and I was like, okay, like, damn. And he's like, okay, let's just get something else. So I'm like, okay, like, you can just get the food across the street. Because I was just really hungry at this point, and, like, I get hangry. So I was like, let's just go to the wing, like,
yeah.
I don't want to put these details. Let's just go to the food let's go get food across the street. He's like, okay, and, like, this was his first time coming out the car. So, like, he parked the car, we came out, and he's like, oh, like, I never got a hug. So I'm like, okay, bro.
He smelled?
But I tell you, when that arm lifted.
Oh my god, no.
I was like, oh my god, like, there's no way, ain't no way, like, yeah, he smelled so bad, and he was, like, kind of, like, clammy a little bit, like, just, like, hot. Like,
Maybe he was nervous.
I think he was nervous.
Clammy, but not the fuck, you could put deodorant on. Like,
but, like, dude, you were 2 hours late, you could have stopped by Shoppers Drug Mart and got you a little stick.
Did he explain what he was doing in the 2 hours?
No.
He never.
I think he had to get something for his car, I think, like, a car part or something.
Okay.
But I'm like, bro, you could have gone to Walmart, gotten some deodorant, a fresh George t-shirt, okay, white or black, like $5, something. Yeah. So he hugged me, and, like, once I smelled him, I knew from that moment, I'm like, this date has to end soon.
Oh my god.
I can't do this anymore. So we got the food, whatever, we went to the car, and yeah, he just, like, drove to this place in my area, and, like, we were talking, and I just, like, looking at my phone, I was like, 20 minutes, like, 20 minutes, I'm gone. Like, and yeah, like, the whole time, like, he wasn't confident, like, he would, like, talk and be like, and I'd be like, yo, I can't hear you, like, can you speak up? Can you speak up? I said that, deadass, I was like, can you speak up? And he's like, oh, my bad. And, like, he just wasn't confident, like, the hygiene was not up to par, like, it was just a lot going on, and I was like, honestly, like, I have work really early tomorrow morning, which I did, and I was like, can you drop me home?
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Did he ever message you again?
No, like, I blocked him on Snapchat.
You blocked him?
I said text me when you got home, and he did, and then I could block. I said, okay, good.
Oh my
block.
god, I wouldn't have blocked him.
I mean, I knew he got home safe, so, my job was done.
I would have just not messaged, like...
No, I felt disrespected, man. 2 hours late and you smell bad, I actually felt disrespected. Like, no. You're getting blocked for that.
Oh my god.
Reschedule, man. I feel like
that's a waste of my time.
That's a waste of my time.
Okay,
just have no shame.
Okay, mine, I feel like yours is like, okay, Mine's just like, okay, so I met this guy on Bumble or Tinder or something.
It's always the
always
dating app.
those because it's like blind dates. And then basically, so this guy's like meeting me. He looks really good in his pictures. Like, let me tell you, like I'm into brown guys. And he looked really tall.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like pretty like toned. Like I'm not gonna say jacked, but he looked toned in his photos. Like in a t-shirt, you can see his like arm muscles, mirror stuff. Like really handsome face.
Right.
And then he comes, right? So he's like, oh, okay, like I'm driving away from Caledon. Caledon's really far from Toronto, like probably an hour and a half, just for this date. Like, and we were going to Milestones. Like, he literally was like, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah,
It was
it
like
sounds decent.
5 p.m., right?
Yeah.
So he comes, the picture was on time, like, from what I know. And he comes and he actually parks in my apartment building, my visitor parking. So, like, it was kind of like getting him a parking pass. And he pulls up in this, like, big Jeep. And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna be so hot. I love Jeeps. Bro, this man gets out of the fucking car. When I tell you, his arm was like the size of my wrist. Oh. He comes out and his t-shirt is so baggy, like not baggy, it's like a normal size t-shirt, but his arm is like a fucking stick hanging out of his arms. His chest, it's like this wide, I swear to you. Legs, he's wearing
Whose picture did he use in the t-shirt?
It literally, okay, it was definitely him because it's like same face.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck this man did.
It's probably an old picture.
Bro, this man probably lost 200 pounds because like not 200. He probably lost like at least like every ounce of muscle he had. Like he was skin and bone, and his legs, like, can you imagine like skinny jeans?
I know, bro.
But like
I know those ones.
the skinny jeans are loose.
I know those ones.
I was literally like, he got out of the car. I'm like,
right?
And I gave him a hug, and I'm like I was gonna break him. I'm like, you're like fragile.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
no.
like fuck. And my roommate's like upstairs, and I'm like texting. I'm like, oh my God, like, get me out of this fucking date.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, he literally came all the way from Caledon. He was telling me, like, as we're walking up to my elevator to go to dinner, he's like, yeah, it was an hour and a half drive. Like, I'm so sorry I'm a little late. Like, there's traffic. Like, you know, how have you been?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm like, would I be a bitch if I just, like, made an excuse? Like,
Oh
I
my
literally,
God.
I texted my roommate SOS.
No.
She's like, do you want me to call you?
SOS.
I was like, she's like, do you want me to call you right now? And say that, like, something really bad happened, you have to come back up. And I
What
was
a
like,
real friend.
fuck. Like, I was, because we have this, like, thing. We would text Pressa. Pressa was our code word.
Oh my God,
I don't know
of course
why
it was
Pressa.
for you.
Yeah.
For the press up.
Pressa was my code word because I don't want to do SOS in case they, like, see your text. Like, if I say Pressa, they won't understand. That's just because I love Pressa. Anyway, side story. And then I look at his, okay, I don't know why this literally made me want to barf. We're, like, at Milestones at Young and Dundas, and I'm like, fuck my life. He's, like, talking about his job, his family. Like, I'm like, I know I'm never gonna see this man again. Like, I don't even care to, like, tell you anything about myself.
Oh,
but I was like, okay, like, I'm just doing it. And then I was like, yeah, like, I have to go. I'm so sorry. Like I was trying to say, like, hurry up a little bit. Cause this man was, like, chilling, having a great time. When I tell you, he pulls out his wallet to, like, pay, and his, like, sleeve goes up. And I see he's wearing a watch. Do you want to know what type of watch this was? It was, like, a Tamagotchi watch. Like, a literal, like, you know those Pokemon watches?
Oh my God.
And I looked at it and I'm like,
How old was he?
I would have been like, what, 20s? Probably, I think he was like 21. He wasn't that much older than me though, I will say that, but he was like not younger. Tamagotchi watch, like I swear to God, I was like trying to stare at it, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, is it a Pokemon watch? Like,
oh my
and I was like,
God.
I'm literally gonna throw up right now. Like, I was like, I'm
so
literally gonna kill myself.
on.
And then we're walking home, and I start to like look at his shoes.
Oh, now you're like analyzing
No,
everything.
I'm really like, what
I
the
gotta
fuck
take
is
a
this
photo.
man on? And his shoes were like, I don't know if they're like Pokemon shoes. They weren't Pokemon, but like they had some character on it. Like they had a weird character like on his heel, but I don't know what it was, like some sort of anime. But I was, and I'm like not hating on anime, but I was like,
But like the sneakers.
this is just not my vibe.
It's not the vibe.
No, and then we're walking from Young Dads. I'm like, fuck, thank God. Like I just want to go inside upstairs and like fucking go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm literally done with this. And he's like, oh, like so you really can't hang out after? Like he's like, you really like you don't want to chill for a bit, like
No.
watch a movie? Like he was pushing. And the way I was like, no, like I have to go like meet my other friend later. Like I'm just gonna go change and I have to run. Like thinking 100 excuses, and I was like, bro, can you imagine this guy sitting on my couch with this Tamagotchi watch? I literally was like, I would just barf in the bathroom.
Ew.
It was so like
So
it was
what
a nice guy
happened?
though. Nothing.
Like-
I think he messaged me actually a couple times. I didn't block him.
Okay.
He messaged me on Snap like, hey, I had a really good time. Like, when can I see you again? Then like I think a week later he's like, hey, want to hang out again?
Okay.
And then I think I just was really dry or like would art bomb.
Oh shit.
But like I didn't want to be like rude because
Yeah.
he was a nice guy. I was just like the skinniness. It was like I literally was gonna be blown away.
I like said I was gonna add more because that reminded me of like my thing. Because the guy online was like, oh, I like 6 foot. Like all his pictures were like him playing sports, literally like in the whole uniform and everything. So I was like, okay, this guy is like active, like, and yeah, he showed up to the date and he was like scrawny, like
I can't.
he was his arms again were like his arms were skinny, and I was like, what happened? And he was telling me on the date, he was like, oh, like I lost a lot of weight because like I'm not eating as much as I used to when I was working out, and like I'm not working out as much. And I was like, that might have been something to include.
But like, how is he gonna tell you like, oh, wow,
I know, but like you can't show yourself as like the super buff. Also, and he wasn't even 6 foot. The man was probably like 5'9", 5'10". He was not like 6'2".
We've already talked about thay fucking men.
Yeah, like the height was not. The height
now.
was not there. It was like it was given 5'10" at most. I'm like, bro. The last person I talked to was fucking 6'4". Like, you think I'm not gonna realize you're not fucking 6'3"? Like,
you know what though? I can say is like I've heard like Tinder stories and stuff where people are like literally getting kidnapped.
that too.
So I feel like our dates are like not actually that bad when you think about it in relative like to things I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still just it's like one of those things where you just like, please God, get me out of this.
Yeah, I was literally like
anything. Somebody save me. Somebody swoop and pick me up out of this.
I just remember like cracking open the window and just.
Breathe through your mouth.
I literally was eating facing the window. I kid you
Were
not.
you eating the car?
Yes. And it was just adding to the stench. Like I was just like,
ew, I could not eat that.
I didn't even finish my food. Like I was just so like there was just too much going on. Too many smells. I'm smelling fries. I'm smelling BO. I'm smelling chicken. I'm smelling. And then,
Ew.
oh no.